Read about Cameron. Sounds like everything's going well. Mark Grimes on this case. That's great. I'm very happy to hear that. Cameron's thinking about college and looking at maybe some other places to move to, and just doesn't want to talk to his mom yet, and talks to his dad when his dad has availability, and sounds like they does good in school, just regular teenage stuff at the ranch, and that's what I got. So Miss Austin, what do you need to add there? Mr. Rogers, what do y'all need?
Yeah, I just wanted to give Miss Austin a chance to discuss, because you're right, Judge. The general report is very good, very proud of Cameron. Grades, wanting to go to college, staying in extended care, working on getting his driver's license, saving money for a car. I think we just wanted to let Miss Austin detail for the court a little bit about his proposed change in placement and the reason for that. And just, kind of make sure the court was aware of that, and that we could move forward. So if you would, Miss Austin, could you just talk about the different places that Cameron's been looking at and why he's looking at them and what kind of placements they are?
Cameron,
You're muted again. Muted again.
Is it working out? I don't know why it keeps jumping off. He just wants more independence. So he's been working with his PAL worker and has become aware of transitional living programs and independent living programs. And so we've been exploring that for him. He had the opportunity to go along with me and his PAL worker at the end of last month to go on a tour. He's interested in being in the Austin area and attending UT. So that's kind of where the placement change conversation started, because he wants to be more independent.
Very good.
And Judge, if I could, we've had a couple of Zooms set up with Cameron that I've not been able to do, and I was hoping to be able to visit with him briefly before today in a breakout room. One because he had a college visit, and another one just because there was sort of just a mess up at the scheduling situation. So, in all frankness, Cameron and I haven't had a chance to really visit. So if anything needs to be added from his point, I might need a few minutes to visit with him. Like I said, we had 2 Zooms over the last few weeks set up that had to get canceled on their end.
The report says that Cameron plans to graduate in 2025, next spring, I guess, and then attend Texas A&M. Has he gotten smart and changed his mind and going to UT now?
He has changed his mind, which he's also changed his mind about a few things on last week as well. But he got the opportunity to meet another kiddo that's doing really, really well. So there's kind of a buddy system that's happening there. And he's very open, and as it relates to having a support network really close. And that's how he came to that conclusion of wanting to attend UT. So we've been working really hard with that. I've also already scheduled an education meeting when school starts back to see if we can kind of fast track Cameron as it relates for him to graduate from high school. So there's a lot of things in the works with him, but yes, that's his new goal, to attend UT.
Okay. Talking about moving to Austin, could he move somewhere in Austin and complete high school?
That is a little bit of what we have been working on, myself and his PAL worker, because the current facility, Upright, is where we completed the tour, and they have made accommodations in the past for certain kiddos to be able to have that opportunity. So it is just right now us trying to meet with the school that he currently attends and kind of get a reference, for lack of better terms, to kind of see if we can get that to happen. But we are going to take him out again this month and kind of see what we can get done if we can't get on fast track at the ranch.
Okay. So we got a plan one way or the other.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Miss Austin, who's can't talk this morning. Who's Cameron's PAL?
Raphael Tovar.
Okay. And Raphael's real good about helping the kids with college and plans, and he knows a lot. We have another case where we have a young lady in Austin, so Raphael's real familiar with all the stuff going on there.
Yes.
Okay. So one of my young men went to a PAL conference. Did Cameron think about doing that?
when we were able to meet another kiddo at the end of last month, he stated that he would be open to that. But he's also has recently been attending a tile laying class to become licensed. So he's been very busy. But he did mention that he's open to that. And we're trying to get him immersed in a lot of different things to kind of keep him busy during the summer.
Okay. Okay, good. Okay. Mr. Grimes, you're new on the case, but we're all happy to see you. What's up?
Well, I went out and spent some time with Cameron, and he is really, I would say, an exceptional young man. He has great grades. He's very responsible, very talkative, really kind of set on where he wants to go in life. I mean, I know that's going to change back and forth, as he kind of settles in on things, but I was really pleased with our visit, and really do like him as an individual, and really proud of what he's done for himself. And I think he has huge potential.
Okay, great. Thank you. Miss Dow, y'all want to visit in the breakout room when we get done?
Yes, please.
And Mr. Grimes, and maybe Miss Austin, maybe all y'all go to a breakout room, okay? Cameron, what's up? Unmute yourself. Tell me what's going on.
Well, in regards to the tiling class itself, I finished that. It was like a one-day thing, but I got the certification for it, and I'm now working under Creative Solutions as a tiling subcontractor. That's what I've been doing the past 2 days. I've been working 8 to 5, and it's an enjoyable job. I've been liking it a good bit. I don't know what I'm gonna do if I'm still in school for a good while though, because the office closes at 5 and school gets out at 3:40. So I wouldn't be able to get there till 4, and even then I'd be working 1 hour. But I think I can figure it out with the school, where as long as I am staying there, because I don't imagine it's gonna be immediate. School starts back up, we have the meeting, and then I immediately move to Austin. I imagine it's gonna be 3 months or longer before we actually get things moving. So, what I'd want to do, I guess, is figure out if I could make time out of the school day to go to work. But I'll figure that out with the principal. That's my only pressing issue right now. That and waiting for Miss Jennifer Clark to get healthy again, so I can have more visits with Dad. Because my last and pretty much only one that I had booked with the jail, it didn't go through because they said I wasn't on the visitor list, but we had already prepared in a month in advance to be, on the visitor list.
Yeah.
And we called about 2 days before, and they said suddenly that I wasn't, so we couldn't go down there. And of course, Miss Jennifer Clark's health issues have prevented me from, I guess, further interaction with my father. But I emailed her, and it automatically gave me a message saying that she'd be back on the 28th of this month. So I'm looking forward to that again.
Are you not, I can't talk. Because she's been ill, have you not been able to go over there any?
No, I never have been to Galveston.
Excuse me?
I never have been to Galveston. Or I guess Dickinson. That's the county or city he's in.
Yeah. Oh, where your dad is? Where does Miss Clark, Cameron?
Miss Clark lives in Kerrville or Ingram. She's in town somewhere. She's relatively close to me.
Okay. I thought that you were staying at their house some.
Every now and then, yeah. I haven't been as of late because of her health issues.
Okay. Have you done I don't know what they even call it. Have you taken SAT? Have you done all that stuff?
I did an ACT and a TSA or something like that. I don't remember the other anagram.
Okay. Have you looked into what A&M and Texas and all those need for admission?
As far as the SIL program goes, I know they need a diploma, but even then we're working on that. For UT, Rafael Tovar, or Mr. Rafael Tovar, said he had an in or I guess a connection with another guy who used to be a foster youth. So like he's helpful, but I can't, trick him or anything by saying, "Oh, hey, help me out. I'm a foster kid," because then he'd be, I guess, realistic with me or something. I don't know. They described him as sort of a, I guess, I don't know.
Well, I mean, you need to look at UT admissions just for regular and see if they need the SAT and you need all that, because they'll start, I think, you need to start applying in like September to get into colleges and stuff.
All right. I already did climb before though.
You already did what?
The ranch has already put us through the climb program.
Okay. Okay. I don't know what that is, but so tell me what that is.
The climb program is like basically where we either go to tour colleges or learn life skills from representatives of the college, or they may very well be their own individual company that is sponsored by the colleges. But I've been to UTSA and most recently Austin A&M, and I've toured those, and so far I'm still pretty set on UT just because of the network that I'd have there.
Okay. Well, it's also the hardest one to get into also,
Yeah, it's #1 in business nationally.
Right. So, just make sure that you've got all the prerequisites done and, get your applications. I think you have to do essays and all that stuff. Okay.
And writing's never been a struggle for me.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know how being a foster child is going to let you, it's just that you just automatically get into UT or not. I know that,
I know it's automatically paid for as long as I file for the waiver. But when it comes to grades, I've been keeping those up. So,
well, you need to look online for admissions, and Miss Dowdle can help you with this, and Mr. Grimes can too, because it's not like just going to Austin Community College. It's hard.
Right.
To work out. So, okay. So you're got a plan, talk to your dad. You don't want to talk to your mom. You got a school plan. Anything else you need from me?
Not really.
How's your artistic stuff going?
I guess well enough. I mainly do it during the school. I think I had a show before that Miss Jennifer Clark and her family came to, and it did pretty well. I made a good bit of money off of it.
And you're trying to get a car?
Yes, I'm saving up for one currently. I hear that Rafael Tovar said there was another program that would match me a certain amount of money as long as I could make up my own. And the ranch said that they would match me $2,000 as long as I have that. I've made that. So I've already made the $2,000 from my previous job as well as like other stuff I've done. But so the ranch is good on that. I don't remember what the program or what Mr. Rafael Tovar said the program was, but I think he said they would match me like $3,000. So if I can find out more about that from him, then that'll be good.
Okay. Just to have and insurance. Remember insurance.
Yeah. Insurance.
For your age boy, not gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Cameron, you go to school on campus or you go into Ingram?
On campus.
On campus. Okay. Do any of the kids from the ranch go to school in Ingram, or everybody go on campus?
All the kids on the ranch go to the one on campus, but kids from town come into our school.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anybody need anything else?
No, Your Honor, I guess just to the extent we do locate a placement that everybody's okay with, that we'd have permission to make the move. Now, that will probably be some time from now, but just so we're ready. Other than that, Ms. Austin, do you need anything else?
No.
I'll just say CPS is agreed by, placement is agreed by CPS and Ad items. Let's come back on 10-9 because Cameron's got to start working on college applications and this move, and we just got a lot of stuff going on his senior year. So let's come back in 3 months and see where we're at.
Sure.
Okay, Cameron, we're gonna send y'all to a breakout room, okay? So you can visit with everybody. Okay,
Okay.
so when you get a little deal, click on it and go in there. So, good luck. Keep everybody informed. I know Mr. Tovar will keep us informed too, and we'll keep our fingers crossed.
Thank you.
And glad you decided. Me and Miss Dowdle and some of the rest of us and Mr. Rogers, we're Longhorn people. Yeah, we are not Aggies. So, but some people that work for him are Aggies. Miss Boone that's helping us today has already sent me nasty texts about Texas A&M versus A&M.
If we lose the Zoom feed, we know what happened.
Yeah. We would love for you to go to school there. So anyway, Miss Aggie LaFoon, if you can send Mr. Grimes, Miss Austin, Cameron, and Angela to a breakout room, please.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Bye, Cameron. Keep up the good work. I'll give you the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Wood, did you participate in some meeting where Malachi's dad and mom were there?
I think I was at the FGC, or I don't remember.
Dad apparently kind of acted weird.
He wasn't ever at court, was he? Because I have seen him and talked to him.
No, because he was in jail.
No, he wasn't in. I don't think he was incarcerated.
During the TMC case, he was.
Oh yeah, the meeting. Yeah, he had a girlfriend or something that he lives with, and wasn't that in court though, where he talked about discipline? Oh, it wasn't in court, Tiffany. He mentioned something.
I don't remember seeing him before.
Okay, yeah, I was there for that, Judge.
Okay, when I was reading the report, I was my first thought was. He was so incredible. Miss McClure represented him in the TMC case. There is no way that I would have approved him going to any meetings. So I just want everybody on here to know, and Tiffany, I'm not getting on you, but the higher ups at CPS are starting to have these meetings because they want to get kids out of care. I got that. Or want to get them out of CWAP, but they're inviting a bunch of random family and parents that have previously been terminated that we don't want involved in children's lives at all. You know, we talked about mom. I didn't ever have a problem with mom. I had a huge problem with dad. So, you know, dad, that sleeping dog's lie. He should not have been involved.
Yeah, mom was distraught. I mean, she was beside herself.
I don't blame her. I mean, I was distraught, or I was pissed off when I read this report.
I don't know how he got invited.
I sent a really crappy email last night that I'm about to put a standing order that says the department is not to have any meetings and include a bunch of rando family without the county attorney, me, Ed Lyda, CASA, and CPS, because we're the ones that have been on these cases forever, without us being notified as to who's coming to these meetings. So that was really just flat out stupid. So Tiffany, you can pass that on, because like I said, I just had this on my mind last night. They did it in the Lampasas case that stirred the pot really bad. And now, I mean, now the dad's going to have the girlfriend move out and get his own house for Malachi to come. But I got a pending CPS case and I got some new criminal charges. Yeah. And, you know, they kind of did it in our Burnett case, Marcus. Yeah. But, you know, and I don't even remember, that case is such flux. I don't even remember how that person got found, and if everybody agreed, you know who I'm talking about. And I don't know how all that went down, but that's kind of an example too.
Well, I think that was CASA kind of got involved and brought him back around on that other case. But this one, I don't know. And is dad terminated in this case? Because I wasn't. Okay, I don't know why he was there then.
Well, the same reason I have a Blanco County case, parents that were terminated about as long as I mean, one of my very first cases I started have been terminated that long because they let a 3-year-old walk down the highway. And now they're trying to bring them back in. When we'd already ruled them out as possible placement, we want them to come back in and come to meetings. You know, no. Same deal with this. And Dwayne, you aren't on the case and the underlying thing, but if anybody calls Melissa McClure, she'll give you some information. Tiffany.
The reason we brought him back in, we were trying to find extended relatives. And the Brandy Roundtree, the family group conference person, had that suggestion that we bring him back in to see, specifically to see if we can find relatives to take him.
Well, and calling them and talking to them on the phone and asking questions are one thing, but having them involved in any meetings with our kids when they're going to hear other stuff that's going on with our kids, it's none of their freaking business.
Yes, ma'am.
And you can tell Brandy I said that, because hopefully she'll get the email I sent last night. And I know that's probably your job and all that, but once again, we have been, me, the county attorney's office, and generally the Adlatums, and probably CASA, have been on these cases for the whole time. We know more about, y'all know background stuff, but we know history, how people acted in court, how the background stuff, we know all that. That's not written down in any paperwork anywhere. And I'm really disgusted. So that being said, I'm glad Malachi has a good placement. I'm happy where he's at. Sound he knew some of the kids there. What else, Mr. Rogers?
Well, I just wanted to ask Ms. Schlab about, there were some mention of some behavioral issues in the report. We don't need to get into the details, but if you could just describe those in general terms. And then I think there was a therapist recommendation to think about transitioning to a therapeutic foster home as long as the transition to public school goes well. So could you just kind of cover the waterfront on those two issues?
The therapist that recommended therapeutic foster home backed out and recommended the Burke Foundation, and that's where he's currently placed. In talking to the therapist, the case manager last week, basically he's not had any aggressive behaviors as far as fighting or anything like that. They are having major problems with boundary issues. We're getting into personal space, getting into how she explained it, to getting in everybody's personal space, and he has no concept of that whatsoever.
But we're pleased with the placement in general, and at least we're not having aggressive behaviors, eh?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else that you need to bring to the court's attention, or anything you need from the court today?
No, at this point, he's where he needs to be until he learns boundary issues. And all those issues, and we're continue to search for foster placements and adoptive homes. I've had 3 hits on him since the last court hearing, with one of them was strong enough where I sent information out about him, but they read that they have another child that's smaller and a animal in the home, and after reading his case, they said no.
Okay. What is his school arrangement in the new placement?
He goes to a charter school on campus.
Okay. Very good. I don't have anything else. Thanks a lot.
Miss Gilson,
Yes, ma'am.
what do you need?
Don't need anything. She said, Kim said to relay, she just believes it needs time.
Well, we've been looking for a foster home for a long time. That's nothing new. So I just, the only thing about those is they're pretty short, but we'll see. I mean, that's probably exactly what he needs. But Mr. Wood?
Judge, he called me. I talked to him. I think he's happy there. He wants me to come visit. I don't know if Michael is still in the case. I don't know if Michael's been able to make it to visit him at the Burke Center, but I hope he's getting some treatment on those specific issues that have come up, so that, he can move on. I mean, it seemed like everything was going really great. And right when everything looked so great, we get all this news that comes in. And so, I don't know.
But one thing might be, I'm the new kid on the block. I'm trying to be cool. I got a lot of stress because I'm in a new place. I mean, maybe it'll level out.
Well, I don't think, Tiffany can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think any of those issues have reared their head at the new place. I think he's trying to fit in and trying to find his way, but he's always had a little issue with getting right up in your face. I mean, that's just Malachi.
Well, I want you to go check out this place. It's pretty cool. They let him go, and they have, in the past, some of my kids there have had, show animals, which might be a good thing to teach him how to deal with that issue. And they raise money for showing their animals. And I think it's great. It's pretty too. Looks like a camp. Dripping Springs is getting more and more busy than it used to be. It used to be out in the country, but yeah, go by and visit him because it's cool. Okay, well, I'm just going to say everything continue. I am going to put father, father, not included in any further meetings. What else would y'all call those? Meetings, conferences? Bio father not included in any further meetings, conferences, etc., without ad litem in court and court prior approval. Next hearing 10-9. Okay.
Judge, Malachi said that he was under the impression you can only get visits on like the first and third Saturday or whatever. I don't know if that's just family or what that is, but I wasn't able to talk to the guy that put him on the phone, but I'm going to try to check that out. I figure I could probably go anytime I wanted to, but
That's correct.
okay.
It's the family visits for families, like kids that have parents that want to visit their kids. That's their specific time frame they can do. It's on the weekends.
Okay.
Okay. Well, keep me posted. Okie doke. 10-9 is our next court date. Tylene. Thank y'all. She coming
Thank you,
today,
Judge.
Julie? Tylene.
No, ma'am, she is not. However, she has given Susan and I direction.
Sorry. That's what happens on Thursdays. So, okay, you said Tylene's not coming, but what? She's giving Susan what?
He's given Susan and I direction. So we're going to make sure between the two of us that we've covered the wants, needs, and desires of Tylene.
Okay, well, I'm sure that's interesting.
Yeah.
Julie sent her poem around. Man, it was great. She ought to be published. It was so good. Quit her job. Wow. And then applied to work at another bank. Wow. Didn't want to live in Brownwood. Well, whatever, don't blame her there, but it would have been kind of a freebie to be able to save up some money. And I bet she could have found a job, like that. Plus, they got a good college maybe she could have worked at. So what's up, guys?
Well, let me just walk through a few things with Miss Torres. Call her.
Yes, sir.
How are you this morning?
I'm okay.
So just correct me if I'm wrong, but from the report, Tylene, she's living in her own apartment. She's decided she is going to stay in trial of independence. It's almost her birthday. She left the bank job without lining up a replacement, and she's having some issues with osteoporosis. Continuing issues, I should say. Why don't you talk a little bit about her plans, the job situation, and then the medical situation in that order?
I wish I could disclose her details of a plan.
Well, good point. I'm sorry. I thought you were going to talk about the medical stuff. It did occur to me we're on YouTube. Maybe we shouldn't discuss too much about her medical on YouTube. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and in regards to her medical, I have not received much information. I have not maintained much contact with Tylene. When she left care, I don't think we were on very good circumstances. She seemed to be very upset with me. So we had one conversation about the middle of June where she disclosed that, or rather she did not disclose to me that she was unemployed. I found out from CASA Julie Gilson that she was unemployed. She disclosed to me some of her struggles with her medical. And when I had inquired about the possibility of short-term disability or any potential benefits with her previous employer, she hung up on me. We have not had contact since. I did talk with CASA a little bit about some of the concerns we had regarding her behavior. And so we recommended she complete a psychological evaluation, which she did. I did just get that evaluation in my inbox last night at about 8:30. I emailed Tylene the evaluation this morning. In regards to her apartment, as far as I'm concerned, she never informed me when she actually moved. I got the discharge summary from settlement asking me to sign. So her official discharge date is 7/2/2024, and that would ultimately start trial independence until her 21st birthday in October.
Which is, coming up really quickly. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
on my TV in my living room for 2 days.
Medical stuff. I mean, one of those medical reasons is why she wasn't able to be in the military. So, we know a little bit about that, but I know there's a couple more. And just from reading the reports, it sounds like Tylene is on it and going to doctors and taking care of it. So, that's good. So I think that's about that. Anybody here know Julie or anybody? Why'd she quit that job? Because it seemed like she really liked it. And we talked about it, other stuff before. I mean, looking for another bank. What's that? Did she have a fight with somebody at work or what?
No, she just did not know the concept of get a job before you quit one. And she wasn't really sure where she was going to be. As far as Raven and how she responded and things, Raven just happened to catch her the day after she had an IV infusion and ended up in the ER over that. They are finally figuring out what the problem is with the osteoporosis. She has she's producing too much prolactin, and the prolactin is depleting her bones of calcium. The problem with that, usually that comes from a tumor. There is no tumor. They did an MRI. So now they're trying to track down exactly what's going on, what's wrong, what's causing that. This has been a long process. Part of the issue is that it changes what jobs she can take and what jobs she can't. She cannot stand up all day. She can't lift large weight. She moved, and she moved on June 20th, and she didn't ask me for help, thankfully. Yeah, moved herself.
Boyfriend helped.
Boyfriend helped too. She's in a really nice place. It's a really unbelievably, remarkably good rent. When she left the settlement home, she had $5,000 that came that had been saved through them. She's got money to pay. All of that happened at the same time. Where am I going to live? Where am I going to work? I need, so she has the money to sustain her for quite a while she is seriously looking for a full-time job. I think that she was unrealistic about the job market. And Susan was trying to explain to her that, she said, well, there's all these openings and no one's calling me back. Well, are there real openings or not? A lot of these people she's sending in these resumes and not getting response from, but, do they really have openings, or are they just gathering resumes for when they do have an opening? That's part of it. She has had a couple of job interviews. She really does think she wants to stick with banking and that it's a good field for her. But I believe she she applied for a CPS job. That would be very recent. She's trying to just solve one thing at a time.
Right.
And
what does boyfriend do for a living?
Works for his daddy.
Doing what?
Installing car stereo systems and
Okay.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I don't know what his future is like, but he's a great guy. I like him a lot. I think he's been really good for her and good to her.
Good. She had a cat or a dog or a pet or anything?
She has a goldfish, which has survived all this time. She said, I can't believe this thing's still alive.
Yeah.
But, she takes very good care of it.
Good.
So,
okay. Yeah, sounds like a pet would be a good, emotional support animal. So that's good.
We do want to talk
to
Sally.
Huh?
Oh, sorry. We do want to talk to Sally Anderson at some point, maybe after, to see what kind of help we can get her medically.
Right.
Do y'all break out with Sally when we get done?
That would be great, because we're thinking we need an internist or somebody that can look at this whole picture, because we spend a lot of time going from doctor to doctor and nobody can seem to piece together what's wrong. And they're saying, well, she should have a tumor, but then they do the MRI and there's no tumor. And it's just been a year with no solutions. So we really need some help.
Okay. Well, why don't we do Shaylee next, and then Susan and Julie, y'all can go, and maybe Raven, whoever wants to go to breakout room with Sally, who's not on Silva. We can do that after our next hearing.
Let me ask one follow-up question. Ms. Torres, were there any recommendations from that psychological, or have you had time to review it?
Yes. When I skimmed it very quickly before court. There were some recommendations, I believe, especially with individual therapy. She did have a diagnosis that I advised her in the email to address with an individual counselor. I don't know if that would be new information for her. It's not something that I had seen in her case before, like in her case file, but I did advise that she pursue it with an individual counselor to better understand what that means. But just reading it really quick, it says that she would benefit from established psychiatric treatment and psychotropic medication, in addition to completing DBT as a treatment, in addition to individual therapy such as CBT, and pretty much maintaining that curriculum.
Hey, Raven, can you send that to Julie and Susan real quick so maybe they could peruse it during Shaylee's hearing so they can maybe have that to talk to Sally about too?
I don't have the medical release from Tylene to release her psychological
I know
because
she
on her
signed
extended
it when I
foster
was
care
there.
agreement. I'm sorry?
I know she signed that when I was there, that I could have that information.
If you want to forward that to me, it may be worth reaching out
That
to
was
Dr.
from-
Siebert.
That's at the place we went to.
Okay,
went
so
with-
I think if you reached out to Dr. Siebert, she could release it to you directly. With the department, she didn't give me any sort of release of information when she signed her extended foster care agreement. And that's just when she turned 18. That's just what I have. If she signed it at Dr. Siebert's office, then we could get it directly from Dr. Siebert.
Well, Susan's gonna need it too. Did she sign it for Susan to get it too, Julie?
I don't know if she signed it for Susan. I happened to be with her that day, so she signed it so that I could have that information. They were also supposed to have a conversation with me because when I talked to Ty, I said, did you tell them this? No. Did you tell them this? No. I said, these are important things they need to know.
Yeah, and again, I think that's the issue is that when she turns 18, she's technically an adult, so they don't have to consult additional collaterals. So I don't know what information she provided. Reading this really quick, it seems like she was pretty open, or at least to the best of her ability, she was. But I would recommend following up with Dr. Siebert's office, and I can give you their contact information if you'd like.
Oh, please. Yes, thank you.
And Raven, do y'all have just a form that maybe Julie, that's a release, so Julie could send it to Tylene to sign?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, send that to Julie too, because Susan's gonna need a copy of it too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, well, y'all hang tight. We'll go to breakout room in a minute. Sally, can you do that today, this morning? We just have another real quick hearing. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna say everything continue. Let's have our next services review hearing on 10/9. It's just a few days before our birthday, so that's the best I can do. Okay. So I was pleased to see that Shaylee got to stay where she was, that we didn't have to move her. Yay. You know, that list of medicine is incredible. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
I said the same thing when I reviewed her court report. I even had I had Sandy kind of like separate them out to see like which ones were daily, which ones were as needed. It was a lot.
The judge, I would say, just as a comment to that, she is doing better than she ever has, and they work very hard to tweak that medicine. And every time someone tries to take her off, it just ends up in a huge incident. So this is one of those very rare cases where, you know, I don't know, but I think Sandy and I and Chris all feel like that it is needed, because she is doing really, really well. And I wanted to thank Morgan and Sandy, especially for working hard to keep her where she is. That would have been a disaster to have left. But everything's going good for her. She's starting to do good in school. Now she only has a couple of classes, but she's taking them and she's doing it. And she got to like a promotion where she got to move up to a bigger, better room where she's got her own bathroom and everything else. And they're really good about doing the meetings so that we can all attend and get updates. So for now, and Shaylee, when I talked to her, she sounded really good. She was doing really good. Sandy has done amazing with that young lady, and Nexus as well. So it's all good.
How long can she stay there?
I don't know the length of the contract, but it's a special contract, but they're saying she's not ready to go, and she's saying she's not ready to go, which is that's a huge improvement.
So I don't know the last time you talked to Sandy. We did staff yesterday, and they are saying November right now. They're saying that she is ready. Shaylee has started. Where's the judge? Oh,
I'm here.
I see you. Shaylee is starting to say that she's ready. Sandy does not think that she is. I don't think that anybody else really thinks that she is either. I know one issue that we talked about was, is she going to go home to mom after this? Mom is telling Nexus during family therapy and telling Shaylee that she wants her to come home, but then she's telling Sandy, no, I'm not ready for her to come home. So that is something that mom's going to have to step up. And if that's the case, she needs to tell Shaylee, because Shaylee's got to process through that. And the best place for her to do that is at Nexus.
That's not real surprising. Just saying. For those of us that have been on this case forever and ever and ever, and Morgan, I went off on people earlier this morning about, and you can talk to kind of a molar type situation that made me mad. Anyway.
Yeah.
On a tear already today. Okay. Talk to me. I just want to talk about some of these meds real quick, because there's some stuff on here that I don't even know what it is. SBP. Maybe Sally can help. Lisinopril. Oh, it's lisinopril, but I don't know. I've heard of that, but I don't know what SBP is.
I don't think I know either.
Blood pressure?
It's blood pressure medicine, and it may be like, sometimes they have initials for extended release or not extended release. I'm not sure what SPBT.
Okay. EPS. Benztopine meslate. I'm glad I wasn't a pharmacist. I don't know how to pronounce these words. Anybody heard of EPS?
I don't know, but the benzo type things are like a sedation type, a calming type, something to calm you down. And our nurse is Miss Andrea. She may know some too. No.
Yeah, the EPS is basically a dopamine antagonistic, and it's used to when she's having a psychotic episode. It's used when the symptoms exacerbate. Instead of switching medications, they use some of this to help calm her down.
Okay. Lithium. I love people being on lithium.
That's interesting. The one
Yeah.
drug she asked for routinely was always lithium. She said she felt the best on it, and that's been consistent for years. Whenever anybody tried to take her off, she would ask to be back on.
Okay. What's this word? Nocturnal. Does that mean nighttime?
Nocturnal?
Yeah.
Well, it's not, doesn't say nocturnal. It's enuresis, in that bedwetting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess another word, NOCTUMAL, nocturnal. I guess that's another word for nighttime. Didn't know that. Here's a new one, drooling. I have not seen that on any of her stuff before. Are some of these meds making her drool, y'all?
Probably so, yes.
That's horrible.
It is. We as part of her staying there, one of the things that state office wanted us to do was a med review, and Dr. P, DFPS doctor, she was out on vacation and she just got back. So Sandy is following up with that to get a medication review completed to go over those medicines and see, make sure that she's not over medicated.
Yeah, because that's what I was going to ask with this list. I mean, you saw the drooling. What other side effects? Is it having an effect on her weight? Is it having an effect? I mean, those kind of things.
Well, because weight's always been an issue.
Right,
right. Her weight has been an issue, but they have a dietitian there, and she has actually lost weight. She's very proud of that. And
Good.
So, Nexus is wonderful.
And she's looking good, and she's very clear-headed, Judge. Every time I've either seen her or spoke to her, or Sandy and I, we're thinking she's going to be sleepy or drowsy in school or whatever, and she's not. She's doing really, really well. It's amazing.
Mm.
Well, I mean, when I'm seeing lithium, I'm seeing drooling, I'm seeing all those other things. I'm thinking, when back in the old days, some of y'all won't remember this, but when I watched like one, and this is a mean, horrible thing to say, but when I watched One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, all I'm thinking of is this child that's hugely sedated, sitting over in a corner, drooling. I'm thinking,
No, that's not it at all. That's not it at all. And she'll call and she'll give you your order for McDonald's before you get there. She's very with it, Judge.
Well, and then we look down in here and it's got, then you go down into medications needed, excessive oral secretion. Well, I mean, but then she gets something already for drooling, that's weird. UTIs, yeah, constipation. I mean, I'm surprised the poor girl can even poop with all the medicine that she's on, I mean, I don't mean to be gross, but, and then SOB, I don't know what that is. It's an inhaler. I guess that's for allergy stuff.
Short of breath.
Short of breath. Yeah, well, I mean, but if she's losing weight, at least that's good. Short of breath. Okay. I mean, it's good that, I mean, they put, cough drops, that's good. Hydrocortisone cream. And those are just, basic stuff that, I don't know why you have to list those, but that's good. SAR, what's that, Andrea? That's a Flonase. It's that flupizone proportion, that's Flonase.
Yeah. So allergies or like some asthmatic symptoms based on certain allergies.
Okay.
My suspicion is, Your Honor, since I'm not looking at the list that you're looking at, is that what you're seeing is a complete list of all the medications that are both ordered for both regular and PRN, but that might not be the list of medications that they currently have her on. So there may be two different. It's just a very exhaustive list of everything that her medication list that they do have available as a prescription that can be used.
So I had asked.
It says daily medications, and then there's another chart that has medications as needed. So, I mean,
Andrea, I'm sorry, Judge. I don't mean to keep interrupting you. I had asked Shaylee. I had asked Sandy that same question, and she said, no, that is the most current list of what she is prescribed. Because I thought the same thing too. I'm like, there's no way she's on all of this medicine, but yeah.
Because at other places, they'll give me a list of everything that's ordered for her that they can pick and choose as they need.
Right.
Have the list of what she's currently or what the patient is currently on. So that's why I was asking.
Right.
Like if you go to Scott and White, you pull up my chart, it's got the list of every medicine I've ever been on in my whole life. And I'm like, take that crap. Oh, I don't like it. I had a fever blister. Take it off. I mean, it makes you look like it just looks weird. So that's why I was like, oh my God. But whatever. I mean, I'm not complaining. I mean, if it's working and she's not sitting in the corner drooling and she's losing weight and that's good. You're right. We're right. We got to get this mother stuff decided because, and that stirs the pot, and we've had that before, and then we just lose it, and not good. So, but mom is going to family therapy through Nexus.
Yes, she is, and things are going well, but like I said, she's reporting to them that she does want Shaylee to come home. But when she's talking to Sandy, she's saying no, she's not ready. And I don't know that she'll ever be ready. But that's the thing, I don't know. We'll work with her if she wants her back. Of course, I had even mentioned to Sandy, she needs to be in some kind of therapy to talk about what is she going to do when these things start happening. And Sandy has said that she says she doesn't have time to do all of these things, which is concerning because she's also talked to mom about all these different appointments that Shaylee's going to have that she's going to have to get her to. And she's just saying she doesn't have time to do all of that. So it is very concerning that she's telling Shaylee and Nexus one thing, and then Sandy something different that seems to be the honest truth. So I just hate to see Shaylee go through all of this. And then at the very end, when they're ready to discharge her, mom's like, sorry, I'm not going to take her
Where
back.
does she work?
She works at a school.
Oh, that's right. In Vernon, I think in the kitchen, or Vernon IC.
Yes.
That's right. I forgot.
Yeah, because then she gets them home, and then Shaylee doesn't go to the appointments. That she doesn't maintain the difficult med regimen, and then we have another problem again. So
right,
that's the exact pattern. Yes. And Sandy worked hard with mom. I mean, she said, "I'll go with you. I'll take you." Yep. It just didn't happen.
Well, and we're barely 16. So. Right. Okay, what else do y'all need? I mean, I'm happy and I'm glad we got that Nexus deal resolved. Yes, Andrea?
Just one thing that Chris wanted to double check on and just to kind of ask about is those charges in Fort Worth. Hadn't heard anything about those yet and was wondering if anybody else had heard anything about them yet. Have they been resolved at all?
Yes, I spoke to the attorney and she said since the department has PMC and the child is not at home, that she's going to get them dismissed. She thinks she has an agreement from the prosecutor and that she would send me the order as soon as she was able to get it. So I can double back and see if we can, and I haven't told Shaylee that yet. I don't want to tell her until it happens because she really stresses out over that.
Right. Hey, Susan, are you talking to Ed? Anybody talking to Ed anymore?
No, I have not been able to reach him.
Yeah. I don't know where he is. So okay.
I spoke to him about something in the last 3 or 4 weeks. And I think I don't remember because this is not what we were discussing, but I think he mentioned that he'd been transferred into some other role. But that wasn't really what I had called him about. So we didn't talk about that very much.
It was something like helping FEMA with their stuff.
Yes, something. Yeah, the FEMA rings a bell. Anyway.
I asked him to speak at the thing in Kerrville, back in February, and they wouldn't let him go to do that. I thought he'd be a great speaker, but whatever. Okay, well, let's just say everything continue. Let's do that 10-9 also for Shaylee. Okay. Okay, well, tell her I'm proud of her and tell Mom to get her, what together. I'm not going to put up with that back and forth. That just irritates the tar out of me. So, okie doke. Thank y'all. Give you the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help you God. Okay, thank you. This is our first permanency hearing. The kiddos are in Central Texas at foster care. They seem to be doing well. Dad's kind of split, and I wrote that Mom's she's not visiting, cuts the Zoom call short, and I don't really get that. So anyway, Mr. Rogers, you may begin.
Thank you, Your Honor. Let me call Ms. Gilmore and ask a few questions about those topics. Good morning, Ms. Gilmore. First of all, Maya and Daniel, how are they doing? Any concerns?
Amaya is doing well. She is struggling a little bit in regards of the visits. More so, it sounds like she is a little bit tearful. There was an incident that occurred, I believe, last week that happened when she was on the Zoom call with her mom. And she had called the foster mom, and I think Miss Martinez had corrected her. And it was reported that she was tearful and upset about, I'm assuming, the correction. She has been more tearful in regards of the Zoom calls, not wanting to participate as much. I think Mom has been, is reported that Mom would miss some visits, and if she would come to the visits, they were cut short. However, Miss Martinez states, otherwise. So in regards to Amaya in that situation, it's a little bit of a struggle, but otherwise she's doing really well. Her speech is improving. She's about to start speech therapy, and overall she's happy and, is doing great. Daniel, he is a happy little boy as well. There's no issues with him. He had his tubes placed in his ears, and he is making great progress with his speech there, nonverbal and verbal. So we're doing well. Speech will be starting with him too.
Okay, and you mentioned some difficulties with the virtual visits. Also for any of the physical visits, there's apparently some car problems, transportation problems with Mom. How's that going?
Yes.
Mom seems to be in her car right now.
Miss Martinez had a visit in May, and then her June visit, she canceled due to car issues. She said that she had 2 flat tires, and then she was having some other car issues, which caused her to not be able to come. I know Miss Martinez does not agree with having to drive 5 hours to come visit with the children. However, there was a visit yesterday that happened, and it was from 8 to 12. the HST that did the visit was running a little bit behind. She offered to stay, like to make the visit, to make up for the time that was missed. And Miss Martinez stated that she wanted to make sure that she was able to get home because she has vision issues. So she denied staying that extra time, but it was reported the visit went well. Amaya was, it was reported that Amaya wasn't really wanting to be involved in the visit, that she was more wanting to just sit down. But Daniel was, you know, living the life and playing. And she had everything. It was reported she had everything that the kids needed, from snacks to, you know, toys, coloring stuff. But that was the last visit that happened. So there's only been 2 visits since I've been on the case.
And I think the report mentioned that the dad's not really engaged with services. Is that still correct?
That's correct. Nobody knows where he's located.
Okay. And I know that I think there's been some discussion that Ms. Wright on Ms. Martinez's behalf has kind of requested either a transfer of the case to an OASIS or some kind of a monitored return. Just tell me, what's the department's position on that? Is it a little too soon? Are you what solutions or position would the department take on those requests?
So there was a permanency conference that happened yesterday, and that was a discussion that we talked about how we can make progress with the visits. There was a discussion to doing kind of like a stair step type of thing. So we talked about 2 visits happening where we're meeting halfway, and then seeing how those go. And then another 2 visits that are supervised by her mother. And that was kind of an issue at first, but I think Miss Wright had talked with her. She said she didn't want to be involved with the case or with CPS in any way, but Miss Wright stated that she would agree to supervise the visits. So then that's when we discussed, you know, 2 visits going on with the mother of Miss Martinez doing the visits, and then discussed after that the kids being at the home with grandma there to supervise, and then you gradually more and more. So that's kind of where we're at in regards of the visits.
The more of a step up is kind of where you guys are.
Yes.
Okay. And correct me if I'm wrong, but grandma lives pretty close to Miss Martinez. They're both kind of Corpus area.
Yes. I believe that she lives like 5 minutes away from Miss Martinez.
Okay. There was also some discussion about purple door and some discussions with Ms. Martinez about, you know, therapy and confirmation of recommendations that therapy is or isn't necessary. What can you give us an update on that?
Yes, so she has started therapy through Purple Door. She had her first therapy session, I believe, on the 9th, and she has another one, I believe, on the 23rd. And she has a psychological that is today, actually, after court. She has been she completed parenting through Purple Door, I believe, and then she is almost done with the domestic violence class.
Okay. Anything the department needs from the court today in this case?
Not today. As long as she is continuing to do the services requested, I think she is, where the department is good.
Okay. Okay. Nothing further. Thank you.
Anybody have any questions, Ms. Gilmore? No,
I do, Judge.
Okay,
Just a
sorry.
couple. Ms. Gilmore, can you tell the court when the department sent the therapy referral and the psychoval referral?
Well, I was not, I was under the impression that it was already sent, but it appears that it never was sent before I got on the case. So, I sent the referral, I want to say, last week, maybe the week prior. And well, more so I requested for her to do therapy. And if not, I was going to send her, to, somebody that we contract with.
And
then same with the psychological.
Right. And so do you know, so can you understand that there was some confusion with the previous caseworker, that, you know, she told Desiree she didn't need to do the psych eval unless it was recommended by the therapist?
That is what was reported by y'all. Yes.
Okay. And I showed you a text message, where the caseworker indicated that. And so, but CPS never sent a referral for therapy. Is that correct?
That's correct. I never was aware of one.
Okay. And you didn't see one in your file or anything that your predecessor sent?
No, I didn't.
Okay. And then as far as the virtual visits, I've sent you some correspondence from the previous caseworker, correct?
Yes.
And that indicated that the placement was rescheduling and moving, and mom was moving some. So it wasn't just mom not going to the virtual visits, correct?
Yeah, it was, yes.
Okay. And so now to remedy that, CPS is going to take control of those virtual visits, correct?
Yes, just to make sure that, there's no issues on either end.
Okay. And then you I think you might have misspoke earlier. You said the visit yesterday was 8 to 12, but was it really 8 to 10 or was it 8 to I thought it was just
I might have misspoke.
Okay.
It was 8 to 10.
Okay. It was a 2-hour visit and then mom left at what time?
I believe it was 10:10, she stated.
Okay. And so that cut the visit short how long?
I don't know if it cut the visit short at all.
Okay. Okay, good. So because it made it sound earlier like it was cut 2 hours short. So I wanted to make
sure.
Oh,
no. If I said 8 to 12, that's not correct. It was 8 to 10.
All right. So the visit went well, other than one of the children, the little girl, not wanting to really, I guess, participate. Is that correct?
Yes. As far as I was told, it went well, that she had everything that she needed to bring, that she was interacting with them well.
Good.
Yes.
And then I've sent you a stair step and CASA and the ad litem, and everyone has kind of agreed to that schedule. And so that's something we'll work towards.
Yes.
And then let's see. I think that's all my questions. Thank you, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Any questions, Gilmore?
I have a follow-up if no one else does, but if it's everybody else's turn first.
Yes, Judge.
Ms. Harris, go on.
Ms. Gilmore, have you requested a diligent search for Mr. Silva?
I haven't since I've been on the case. I can see if there was one done.
If not, can you request that and provide the results?
Yes, for sure.
No other questions, Judge.
Ms. Rogers, did you have some more?
Yes, I just had a quick follow-up for you, Ms. Gilmore, just to talk about the psychological. It has now been ordered and scheduled.
Yes.
Okay, and that's going to happen tomorrow, I think? Today. Okay.
Today, I believe, like at 1 or something like that.
Are there any other items that we need to kind of double check or make sure that we've got scheduled, or
I think everything is done as long as she's doing therapy and the psychological gets done, and then we'll see what the recommendations say in regards to that, and we'll just go from there. If there was something that hasn't been done, make sure that it's done, and then just go from the recommendations from the psychological.
All right. Thank you very much.
Anybody else? Ms. Gilmore, why in grandma placement?
She doesn't. She has the other 2 children, and she is reported that she just is going through a divorce, and she is not in the place to have other 2.
Okay, just wondering. But she can supervise, do the visitation stuff, and all that.
Yes, I talked to her, Judge, and she was happy. She said she wanted to help Desiree get the kids home, so she would do the supervising.
Okay. Okay, good. Okay, thank you. Any more witnesses, Mr. Rogers?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Wright?
I just wanted to, I'll just say what I have to say, just make it quicker. She did get off to kind of it is a slower case because she lives 5 hours away. The kids are placed in the Waco area. It's a long way, and she has a lot of car trouble. So I think now maybe we have a plan where the department's going to meet halfway, for most of the visits. And so hopefully we can get her moving forward, but she's taken a lot of classes. She's done a lot of community resources. And she's never, tried to not take a psych eval. She's always done whatever everyone's asked her. There was just a miscommunication, from the last caseworker that she wouldn't have to do it unless therapy recommended. So she's doing it today, and she's doing everything she's supposed to be doing. So hopefully we can get the case moving forward.
Could she use her grandma's car or her mother's car?
I don't know. Desiree? You're muted.
It says I'm not muted.
You're not muted now.
So my mom's car is out for repo. There's no telling how long she's going to have her car.
Okay.
That's part of what happened with the divorce. She's losing her car, and she lost everything as far as what is left in Kingsland, and she doesn't even have Angel, so she's staying with Trey.
Yeah, so her mom was living in Kingsland, and she had, she's getting a divorce. And so she relocated to Corpus. There's just a lot of financial issues, Judge, in this case. And I reached out several times to all of the child advocates, just trying to make a plan, to help the family move forward. Poverty is not a reason to keep kids away. So we want to try to do whatever we can to help the family.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Harris, do you need anything besides the diligent search? You're good. Okay. Ms. Manning, what else does CASA like to add that wasn't in y'all's report?
I don't think I have anything. One question that I did have, possibly for either Ms. Gilmore or Ms. Wright, would the virtual visits weekly continue along with the step up, just to create that kind of consistency for the children? Okay.
Yes.
Good.
And CPS is going to be supervising those now.
Okay. And when will the step up plan start?
Brooklyn, I think y'all scheduled a visit for the third week of the 30th or the 30th, right?
I think we decided on the 30th. Hold on, I can tell you.
There has been a visit scheduled though.
Yeah, there's a visit scheduled.
Okay, good. And then
29th.
The 29th, okay. And what is the duration that we're looking at to complete that step up?
I believe we were discussed 2 visits, like seeing how things are going, and then like another 2 visits, like with a change, with a step up. So like 2 visits with us and meeting halfway, 2 visits with mom, 2 visits overnight with mom. I think I sent it. I'll resend it if you don't have it.
I have the whole plan. I was just curious the duration of it. But I think we answered it. You kind of started at the beginning and assessing where we are as we go.
Yeah. And my guess would probably be 2 visits a month. I mean, I don't know that we can, like, just financially that it can happen more. Like, I don't know that they're in a position to do weekly or anything like that.
Right. Okay. That's all that I have for now.
Okay. Mr. Wood, you need anything?
Judge, we had a productive meeting, and I think we made a lot of headway, where, I mean, it just felt kind of hopeless. It didn't feel like we were going to get anywhere, and Grandma was not willing to step up. And, I think it was good for Sonia to reach out because, if we're not having progression, then it's just a stagnant case. And I think everybody's working together on that to kind of move towards that. And I think it's a good plan. And I told Mom, I said, look, I'm the one pushing for the psychological. I want to see it, and I want to know that you're okay and the kids are going to be okay, because I mean, there's a lot of stress for that. So I don't think the delay's anything on her part, but she's willing to do it. And so we just need to make some progress there.
Okay. I'm just going to say everything continue because it sounds like y'all have a good plan, and Mom's doing whatever the department asked of her. So that's good. Miss Martinez, you have a service plan. You have to comply. Your parental rights can be subject to termination. Our next hearing is our second permanency hearing, and it's on 10/9/24. Okay. Thank y'all.
Judge, before we go, that just because there's been a lot of discussion of the step up, if there isn't already, could we get an order, something along the lines of visitation as agreed by CPS ad items?
Okay. Got it.
Thank you.
You're about to give you the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. Okay. 3 of the girls are living with Mom in a tiny house. Bella is living with, according to the report, Bella's living with Grandma. But everybody's on the same property. So everybody seems, the girls seem to be busy this summer. Mr. Rogers, you may begin.
Sure, Your Honor. Let me call Ms. De La Cruz and just start by talking about kind of options for the conclusion of this case. I know that there have been several different considerations, and probably the options before the court, Ms. De La Cruz, would be either an extension, a monitored return, some sort of a final with PMC, PC between Mom and Grandma, which we couldn't really accomplish today in the absence of a court reporter. And then finally, just to dismiss the case. Where does the department stand on those options, and have we discussed with the other parties, and what's sort of the report on the landing pad here?
So the department's stance is that at this time, we believe dismissal, return to parent dismissal is a valid option, considering Marissa has complied with her service plan and maintained her sobriety from drug use. And the girls have been on an extended visit with Marissa since about May, and there's been no safety concerns. I do know that CASA is on board with dismissal. I believe I've spoken to our ad litem, and she would like a final order in place. And I do believe that the family would like a final order as well. Whether that looks like, PMC to mom, PC to grandma, just to protect the family in case future instances happen. And I mean, God forbid, and I don't foresee that, but the family has been in and out of CPS on and off throughout the girls have been in and out of CPS on and off throughout their lives. And we just would like to see something to prevent that in the future.
Right. So currently there aren't any safety concerns for the kids.
That's correct.
And mom has remained clean.
Yes.
And maybe we're not completely thrilled with the compliance of some of the rules and requirements, but from a safety perspective, you're satisfied.
That's correct.
And I guess to the extent if the court preferred and if the ad litem preferred to move to more of a PMC PC, is there any intention to do anything with respect to the rights of the fathers?
I don't believe that we're wanting to terminate rights.
Okay.
At this time.
Let's just go to breakout room. Miss LaFoon, can you send the lawyers and CASA to a breakout room, please?
Yes, Judge.
Mom's waiting to you. Wait, come on. I can't see me.
Okay, I just want everybody to know that we are live. We're on Zoom, we're on YouTube. So people shooting the bird at each other, smoking, vaping, whatever, that is all, where's your client? That is all being seen and recorded and subject to being held in contempt of court. To get up to 6 months in jail and or up to a fine of $500.
Sorry, Judge.
Just because we're in a breakout room doesn't mean that everybody else can violate the rules. Okay? Because I can still see what's going on even in a breakout room.
Sorry, Judge.
Thank you. I feel that the girls are in safe place now. And so I think grandma will stay on mom and the girls, and everybody's on the same property. So I am going to dismiss this case. But what I'm also going to say is I can promise y'all, every single one on every line on this Zoom thing, if I have to hear this case again and I'm not going anywhere, that the girls will be in foster care next time. I'm not going to tolerate some of the things that went on this time. Don't like that. I don't want the girls in foster care. Maybe there could be a relative or a friend or somebody here, or maybe Mr. Behill would be, unincarcerated at that time or something, but I'm not going to do it. So I hope that everybody learns some stuff in their counseling and their therapy and open door and where everybody went. But at this time, I'm going to release all the lawyers from their further representation. I'm going to find that CASA and the ad litems in the department did a good job. And actually, this is good because we're about a month before our dismissal date anyway. And so getting cases done quickly, that's always a good thing. And Ms. Gomez, that ought to teach it. So that's another thing, we got out early, but next time there ain't going to be no getting out early.
I understand, Judge. Thank you.
Okay. Well, keep up the good work. Keep your hard worker at your jobs. Keep up the good work, and y'all all work and play well together. And we don't see y'all again. Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Y'all are excused.
Thank
Bye.
you. Judge, could I impose to talk to Mr. V. Hill in a breakout room just so I can
Yes.
explain what happened? Thank you.
Yes.
Your Honor, is
Miss-
CASA dismissed from the case?
What?
Is CASA dismissed from the case as well?
I guess so. I guess y'all are out of here. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No, everybody's saying, but y'all. Yes, y'all are dismissed.
Sorry,
Yes.
new hearing aid, trying to get it worked out.
Congratulations.
Yes,
Marissa.
congratulations.
Way to go.
I'd like to say thank you. Thank you, everybody. You're hardworking and it's hard to do your job.
Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate the kind words. The people in the CPS don't always get nice words, so we appreciate that.
Judge, that's
Thank
all
you.
I have before the court today. May I be
Ring a
excused?
bell to me.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Ms.
I had to tell you
Knight.
something that happened yesterday.
Okay.
There was a CPS case before I tried my case,
Uh-huh.
and there were two little kids, and a little girl, and a little boy, and the little boy had on a t-shirt that had like a tuxedo, and the dad had on a t-shirt that was like a tuxedo, and then the girls were all dressed up like wedding dresses, and I'm like, what is going on here? So the judge married the foster couple before he did the adoption.
Aw.
I thought that was really cute.
That's cute. That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
thought
That
it
was a
was
good day for everybody. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool,
All right,
cool.
I'm out of here.
Okay, thank you. See you
Bye-bye.
later. Okay, Melissa, stay there. Carry on, let this person in, okay? Mr. Where is your client, Mr. Wood?
Judge, I have not been able to reach her on the phone. I've called multiple times. I don't know that the department's been able to reach her or not either. I don't think she's drug tested.
That's not good.
Yeah, that's our understanding as well. Ms. Robles, any late breaking news on that front? Where we had left it was that she hadn't tested yet. Also, just for the court's information, we've been trying to serve her at the address we had and have been unable to. She's never around, and that gives me some concerns as well. So, Ms. Robles,
Does she work though? What about serving
yeah,
her
she
at
works.
work?
She works night as a nurse, I believe. So, she may not be easy to awaken during the day or things like that. So.
Well, but they can serve papers at night. I mean,
They
they
sure
don't.
can. I'll talk to them about that, but like we know where she works, I believe. We could try it there.
Well, her
but in the-
application for court-appointed attorney's been filed, so you know
Yeah.
you could. Yeah.
Yeah. Ms. Robles, any update on Miss Price as far as doing the hair strand the court ordered?
No, not at all. The last time I spoke with her was on July 4th, and she has not responded since then.
Okay, so I think we're a little concerned, obviously, Your Honor. I had talked to Ms. McClure about the possibility of a short reset and to reemphasize the court's order to take a test, and if not, this case may need to turn in a different direction, which I think is kind of a shame, but kind of we are where we are.
Well, the allegations are pretty serious.
Well, the fentanyl allegations concern me, and the fact that she's kind of ducking a drug test makes me worry that we know how that test is going to come out.
Right. Well,
I'm
and
sure
let me
she's
ask
worried about
this.
that.
Did anybody, I also said that she was, let me just call the case. I didn't call it too.
Yes.
Okay. So everything everybody said before, that's all true and correct. Right. Okay. Got it. Last time I also ordered her to sign a release, for her probation records. Did anybody get those or talk to any probation officer or look at any filed court documents? Hold on just a second, Mr. Lee. Hold on just a second. Any of the lawyers or parties? No. Okay, Mr. Lee, what do you know?
I have them. I've talked to them. I've talked to her probation officer, Ms. Garcia. I have talked to the district clerk. I have all of her paperwork, everything. She is to go to TDCJ, Safe P. She failed her fentanyl test. She was extended 5 more years probation. She's been to court 4 times this year over her fentanyl, not doing her probation, not going to her classes, not taking her tests, cheating tests, just running.
How'd you get all that?
That's public record, ma'am. I was able to, I have it. I can send it to, I've sent it to the CPS officer. She has all the court paperwork. I have it. It's all official transcript. It's court documents, ma'am. It was April the 22nd was her last court date. And see, she's out of court right now because she's testifying in a murder trial for Dennis Price. And her probation officer, Ms. Garcia, was letting her stay out of jail until August when she testifies at his court date. It says in her paperwork that she is basically the reason that Nicole is out of jail. And I also talked to the DA in Llano County, and they told me that it was the probation officer that was letting her stay out of jail currently. Because
Well,
Nicole always finds a way to get. I'm sorry.
some of us on this Zoom were very familiar with that case. And so we know exactly what you're talking about. So, hey, we might be able to get her served in August when she shows up for
She won't show up.
But that's too long. That's way too long.
And she's had my kids too. She's in contempt of court on my kids.
Have you
I'm
had
supposed to have
summer
my kids right now.
Have you had summer visitation?
I was supposed to get them July 1st.
Did you get them?
I haven't had no contact with my children in months. She's antisocial, ma'am. It's when you can't control the person, you control their character. And she's doing this to my kids.
Where do your kids go to school? Vernon or Lana?
And ma'am, I say Lano, but when you're dealing with somebody with antisocial, your guess is as good as mine. I mean, I believe they go to Lano.
Do you have an address for her?
I have two different addresses, one in Bluffton, but I believe that's where her mother stays, and then a supposed address where she doesn't work. She doesn't do anything, ma'am.
Give me that other address.
Can I look it up real quick?
Bluffton, I have.
That is the address, ma'am. It's the Bluffton address.
Okay. Do you have another one though?
Yes.
Dwayne, maybe if she's testifying for the DA's office, maybe they have an address for her.
We'll check in with them and also check this address. But finally, if she is still employed, we'll try to serve her there too.
She's not employed.
Well, she filled out an application, said she wouldn't, because she gave that to Mr. Wood, and we needed to discuss her.
Everything's a lie. Everything's a lie. Everything.
Mr. Rogers, you might also want to talk to Miss Lang, because I think I could be wrong, but I thought Miss Lang had her testify at one of the hearings.
No, and I know that for the prior trial, Miss Lang was talking to her extensively. So.
Well, did she testify at one of our temporary hearings in the?
No, that was the second one. That I know that Miss Lang was trying to get Miss Price to testify, but it was the other mom who actually testified. Heather, I think her name was. Maybe
it was a little confusing. I don't remember. That was a while back.
Yeah.
Judge, was it the third one you have?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's the one. That's the one she gave.
Okay.
That's it. That's the only one you have?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
But
Dwayne, the school, we might want to call James Schilling or Eric Van Pelt or somebody and see if they can get an address to the school also.
Will do.
And Judge, one more thing, if I might. I'd take her to court too in 2022 because she was on. I found out about her test then. I had her hair follicle test through CPS. She dyed her hair the day before test. The judge then ordered her to take a nail test the following time. And then our next hearing, she had a note from the lab that said her nails were filed down so thin they couldn't get a sample. So I mean, she's always dodged this, and that's record. That's documented. She's always dodged these tests and stuff like that.
Okay. Let's reset until that Tuesday. Tuesday. What did I say?
I think 7:30. Let me take a quick look.
Yeah, 7:30. I don't know what time yet.
Okay.
It's my birthday, so I hope it's a good day.
Oh, happy birthday. I don't know what. Yes, Ms. McClure.
I would love to see whatever paperwork Mr. Lee has regarding the kids. I've not seen what custody orders there are. So if he could get those to somebody.
CPS has them, ma'am.
Okay.
And I'm in compliance.
Orders. I don't know the rest of it, but I bet Ms. Robles does. So we'll
Mr. Lee, do you have all that? CPS, somebody on here who has all the probation, like motion to revoke, all that kind of stuff? Who's in possession of that?
I have the both the custody paperwork and the probationary paperwork from 2023
that you received from Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Robles, can you send it to Mr. Wood, Ms. McClure, and Mr. Rogers, please?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Winkler, I know that this is not y'all's most favorite thing, but we might want to consider changing this case. I mean, I don't really put up with any kind of drug use, more or less fentanyl. And if she's got all these other issues going on and nobody knows where the kids are, I'm not sure they're really in a safe environment right now.
They're good, Judge. I went and visited with them. They're great.
Oh, where are they, Miss?
They're with grandparents. They're with grandparents.
Yeah.
Grandparents are the same as Nicole. I disagree with that.
Mr. Lee, hold on, be quiet. But doesn't mean she couldn't go snatch them away.
Well, and from the standpoint of immediate danger, if we're starting to head in that direction, a missed drug test is considered a positive, and there's reports of fentanyl. So that might be enough. It's something we'll have to consider, but it's definitely something that was on my radar once I learned that she hadn't tested.
Okay. What else, Ms. McClure?
Well, I only know what I know.
Right.
But when I visited with the children, especially the older child, she's very articulate. They do feel safe where they are. Where they are right now is where they want to be. I have heard reports that dad has been a little pushy and kind of wanting to dig up information from the children, and that they are not comfortable with that. So I don't know if any of that is true. I just know what I'm being told. And so I would like to have more information about the custody papers. I also understand that the children did not want to go to dad's. They don't want to go to dad's. And so I don't, sir.
Be quiet.
Record of that, ma'am. That's called narcissistic. They're told what to.
Hold on,
they're
Mr.
threatened.
Lee. Mr. Lee, be quiet. I'm talking to the lawyers. Go on, Ms. McClure.
As I said, Mr. Lee, I don't know what all is true. I am telling the court what I do know. And what I do know is that right now, after speaking to the children, they do not want to go to their dads. They do not want to see him. That could be because he's a jerk, or it could be because they're being brainwashed. I don't know. I'm just letting the court know this is where they stand right now.
Yes, ma'am.
I do have a question for
Mr. Lee will, be able to hire or get an attorney, and we'll get costs involved too. So, it's a lot of different directions we could be going in.
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Lee, you can always hire an attorney to enforce your visitation and everything else.
I have.
Who's your lawyer?
Russ.
Russ Baker?
Yes, ma'am.
There you go.
There you go.
Mr. Rogers, yes, sir.
I was just going to ask Ms. Robles, further to the standpoint of the safety of the kids and the current placement. I know that there were several requirements put on by the court, and one of which was to execute the safety plan. Did Ms. Price at least execute the safety plan, Ms. Robles?
Yes, she did.
Okay. So anyway, just wanted to clear that up. Thanks.
Okay, well, I'm going to say all prior orders remain in effect.
Judge, just one question. I mean, has she followed the safety plan to your knowledge, Ms. Robles?
I have not had contact with Nicole. So from what I understand from the children's grandmother that she has.
I mean, you haven't gone to grandmother's house and found her there unsupervised or anything like that, have you?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, she's followed the safety plan, but she hadn't done any complied with any of the court orders. So we got that. And these were some serious, they're kind of some serious court orders. So
I'm not minimizing that, Judge.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Man, you haven't heard me been on a rant today, have you, about the Maizano, all that? You heard all that today? Oh yeah. I did it on that. They did it on another case.
Yep.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Because Mr. Wood is Malachi's case now, Melissa.
Right. I know that.
Yeah. Okay. All prior orders remain. Reset to 7/30/24. Time TBA.
Okay.
TBD. I guess that's what it is. Okay. Okay, doke. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Judge.
Is this is this still court ordered, or is this moving?
Right now, it's still a participation case. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we'd have to make some determinations and some staffings before we'd switch. Just, you might want to tell her that, her behavior is causing us to consider that possibility. So, comply with the court orders. I know you already are, Marcus.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, doke. Thank y'all.
Thanks, Judge. That's it for Lano. We got you done just in time.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. McClure, did you call this setting?
Yes, ma'am. You'll recall, Your Honor, along with some of the things that we talked about in our other hearings this morning about how sometimes uppers and CPS kind of stick their nose in things. We're in a situation, unfortunately, where we don't have a lot of options on placement. Zoe's been in Texarkana, Arkansas, and Riverview is discharging her at the end of this month. CPS, Myra, has been looking diligently for an appropriate placement in Texas. Unfortunately, and she can testify to this if needed, but I'll proffer that she would testify that They've done a search. They've looked everywhere. She's been turned down, and Zoe's here, by the way. She's been rejected by every placement option that we would have, primarily because of level of care. She has an intense level. So that, of course, limits how many places are even an option. The ones that are an option have all been full. They have no available beds. And so she has not been able to be interviewed by a Texas facility and accepted. There is a facility outside of Conway, Arkansas. It's about another 2.5 hours into Arkansas. They have accepted her. I think this may have been an upper level CPS kind of a get all up in our business thing. And I would complain a whole lot more about it if we had other options, but I don't know how many other options there are. Zoe does know that if her level were to decrease, that it would give us more options. She does know that if she were to be able to get her behaviors better between now and discharge date, we might be able to find some place in Texas that might be able to take her. Or if she goes to the other place, I can't remember the name, if she gets, under control there and can get her level decreased, we can again look for her to come back to Texas. None of us want her to stay in Arkansas, but we really don't have any other options right now.
The place that I really like outside of Brenham, Bluebonnet.
They wouldn't. Part of it is there's been some runaways in the past, and so that's a concern. But Myra specifically did talk to them, and they would not take her right now.
Where is Helen Morgan? Where's Morgan?
Good. I'm here, Judge. I'm listening.
Where is Helen placed? Helen, who has another name. You know what I'm talking about?
The name sounds familiar, but I don't know where she's placed.
What about Carrie Ward's on Ad Litem? Little girl went to live with Nina for a little bit.
I don't know.
She's at a place called Road to Wisdom. Zoe was actually there before. And due to her runaway incidents, they discharged her.
And they actually declined her due to that previous discharge.
And the problem we're running into is because Zoe was with family, friends, and then that kind of disrupted. Did we try that twice or once?
It was twice. Three times?
Three times, I think.
What's the status with her parents?
Mom and dad of the littles are doing really well with the littles. I saw a visit. Mary just saw a visit. Of course, Myra's seen a lot of visits. They're doing really well with the littles. I think that Miss Rendon is here, and so I don't think Myra's had a lot of contact with her, and I don't think there's been a lot of participation, if I'm not mistaken. And so I don't think anybody is in a position to take Zoe at this point.
And Judge, I represent Ms. Rendon, and I believe she has been working her service plan and doing what the court has asked her to do. However,
I've done everything the court has asked me to do.
That's my understanding. However, I think that she wants Zoe. Of course, she loves Zoe. Her concern is whether Zoe would just run away from her house. I mean, she doesn't know that she has the resources or capabilities right now to say, yes, I can make sure that she's here and she stays here and she's safe.
I don't think anybody's saying that any parent is able to take her right now. I don't think that's something that anybody at this point is ready for. So it's not an indictment against her. It's just I just wanted to clarify that I do think she's worked her services and done what she's moving on her service plan, done everything she's asked of. And if there's anything that she hasn't done that I'm not aware of, I'd ask CPS to let me know that. But otherwise,
we all share the same concern for Zoe. We need to find a good placement for her, and we're all sort of at our wit's end.
So the problem that really the only problem is the runaways. Is that correct?
Correct.
That is the biggest problem. She when we met with her a few weeks ago, she really decreased the amount of altercations she had with other peers and was able to redirect herself using some good coping skills. The concern is the runaway, because where she's at right now is locked down. She hasn't had the opportunity to even think about that right now. And so that is the concern, that when she's in a less restrictive placement where she has the opportunity to do that, that she'll make a poor choice. And that's the biggest thing. Nobody wants to be liable for something happening to her if she leaves.
Morgan, let me give you a calls number. I want to know where this young lady's placed. Okay, you ready?
Okay. Yes. Okay.
It's the name of that. It's a name that I gave you earlier, but she goes by a different name.
Okay.
Can you look that up?
You know, Judge, if nothing else, you know, we did ask you, because of some other cases where CPS uppers have stuck their nose in our business, we had asked for a court order for placement. And that's great, but I'm wondering if we could get the court to order that if Zoe's behaviors improve, and if we could look for another placement, that we can continue to do so. And that if CASA, CPS, and I agree on another placement before she gets moved to this other place, that we could together agree on that and ask you to sign an order on that. And that if we can't do that, that once she's at this other place, that if her behaviors improve and we can find other placement in Texas, that then we could report to you that we can get her into New Horizons or someplace and ask for the court to order placement there.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I just thought of another place another case I want to look up. You ready, Morgan? I'm just trying to go through places that I think that, you know, without having to be, I say, Lano, 2-1. Okay. And where is Aspen? That's the Lampasas case. Where is she?
I thought she was out of state too.
I don't know where she is.
It's been a while since I've been on that one, so I'm not sure.
Okay. Miss Irwin, you have Bailey also, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, as much as you can have her on that case. Anywhere that Bailey's been that you think would be good for Zoe?
You know, Bailey's last couple of stays have been state hospitals, which I don't think Zoe needs. Prior to that, there wasn't really anywhere she stayed. There was one place in Colorado before I was on the case that she stayed for a while, but you know, we tried her at Waco Children's Center. She ran, you know, she wouldn't go. Most other places, the only places where she has stayed have been Terrell and Austin State Hospital and Juvie. I mean, those are the only ones that have had any more than a few days with her. And I don't think Zoe needs that.
What about the place in Waco that Miss Irwin just talked about? Did they say no?
So I did send her application to Waco Center for Youth. I don't believe they have reviewed her application yet, and I haven't heard back from them. They most recently asked for a letter stating that she was deferred from juvenile probation. Miss Reeser wrote that letter for me. I sent it to them, and that was the last thing I heard. I haven't heard anything else from them.
Judge, Jacinda is on the phone with me. She's the supervisor for the one you said goes by Helen, or was Helen.
She can let me in the corner.
Oh, she can hear you. She's actually at Riverview right now where Zoe is.
Okay.
Yeah. But she is moving to go to settlement home today, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This morning.
Yeah. So she was at Riverview.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because settlement home went in my head and then it just escaped real quick. Are we not at that point yet for Zoe to go there?
Settlement home, Jacinda, settlement home, it's not locked down, is it?
No.
Yeah, it's not locked down at all, from what I remember.
And Helen's going there?
And light up sick green.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Look up the Lano one.
Okay.
She's in East Texas somewhere, and I really like where she is. She doesn't run away though, but there's other things.
Judge, is Casey the name on that other case, that Lano case?
I'm on that. She just got moved to settlement home.
She also got moved to settlement home?
Yeah, she just went there about 6 weeks ago.
No,
that's not the one you're thinking of?
Oh,
Okay.
Casey, her first name starts with K. I think Susan C. had lied. Oh, she's at Aspire to Dream. County Attorney's Office just sent me the email.
Zoe's already been, Zoe's been there.
Aspire to Dream in Beaumont.
A Star is to Dream in Beaumont.
Aspire.
Aspire.
Zoe's been there.
And then the
Zoe's been
number
there.
2.
Okay.
I don't know if that one's a lockdown.
Well, I don't know of any anymore. They closed the 2 that we had. What about a special contract with Krause? We've discussed that recently on another case. I don't know what county that was in, but we did discuss that. I always liked Krause. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
I've never heard of it.
It's in Katy. Zoe, talk to me. What do you think about all this? It's kind of, I don't even know what to say. What do you think? Zoe.
Zoe.
I don't really know what to say.
It's a bummer because, we started out with family friends and that was going well. And then the runaways is just what's killing us, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And why are you getting discharged from there? Have you just worked through their therapeutic program, or do you know?
Yes, ma'am. I've completed my program here. 90 days.
Yes.
Did you have any runaway attempts there?
No, ma'am.
Okay, that's good. Well, do you think we go to this other place and we don't have any runaways, that things might work out better for trying to find somewhere?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are you opposed to going there and trying it out, Zoe?
Yes, ma'am.
You're opposed to it? You don't want to?
Oh, I'll go.
Okay. And one thing is maybe to prove that you're not going to run away and maybe to go back home and live with one of your parents. Would that be something that you might consider or you might want?
No, ma'am.
Excuse me?
No, ma'am.
You don't want to live with either of your parents?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. And I don't mean to put you on the spot. I just, I got to kind of look for places to go,
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, my goal would be to get you to not be running away. And then so we could get you in like a foster home or somewhere like that. What if you had, the best wish in the world, where would you live?
Back at my recent placement.
Say that again, one word cut out. In your what placement?
Recent placement.
And where was that?
With Kim and Jerry.
In Lampasas?
In Copper's Cove.
Okay. Are you still in contact with them?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, have you written them a letter and said, man, I'm sorry, I'm an idiot and I screwed up. I'm sorry. Have you done all that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, I would suggest, I'm sure your Latins have, I would keep being in contact with them and, telling them, that you really did mess up and you're really sorry and, kind of, and make it true and, so they don't think, oh, she's just giving me a line of bull, so they know that you really have learned something. So maybe that's a possibility too. Also, I need you to think really hard about some other kind of family or friends or we call them fictive kin, anybody else in the Lampasas area or anywhere that you think you might be able to consider. Okay.
Okay.
If you have a cousin from a long time ago that you hadn't seen recent, something like that,
Yeah.
Kind of hard to think back that far, but are you talking to me? You will, or you what? What'd you say?
I don't have any family that lives in Lampasas.
Well, or any family that lives in Timbuktu. I mean, El Paso, just be thinking about some other things, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And Zoe, do you talk to Myra? Do you talk to Miss Irwin? Do you talk to Miss McClure?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you feel comfortable with them?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, for right now, I'm not going to have any other options, but I am going to put in the order what Miss McClure said, that if they find a better, if they find somewhere else that they like better, then I'm all for that. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So keep doing what you're doing. Obviously you've done well to complete the program there. So that shows something right there. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And if you never need to talk to me, you just tell Myra, Melissa, or Mary, and everybody's got M names. That's weird. Tell one of them, and we can visit on Zoom or whatever we need to do. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, you're a nice young lady. You can talk. You say yes, ma'am. That kind of stuff goes a long way. Because I got a lot of kids that are they just kind of act kind of cruddy. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh. Thank you, Zoe. Anybody have anything else to talk to Zoe about or ask any questions? No. Okay, so we just need to say in the order that placement as agreed by CPS and ad litems.
I think that would work, Judge.
Okay. Zoe, you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let me see when our next hearing is. Close. It's on August 12th. Okay, that's good. So we'll be back and seeing what's going on then too, Zoe, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, anybody need anything else?
No, ma'am.
Okay, Zoe, promise me that everything will go well while you're there for the rest of the time, okay?
Okay.
And the good news about Arkansas, I think it's real pretty.
It is.
That's good. And it's going to be hot as hell everywhere you go down here these days, So thank you for coming, and tell the ladies there, thank you for letting me come on camera, okay?
Thank you for letting me come.
Anytime. Okie doke. Thank y'all.
Bye, Zoe.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you, Joe Bug.
Love you too.
Thank you for doing that, Judge. I really appreciate it.
She's cute as a bug.
Oh, she is, and she's a smart little cookie.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice. Okay, waiting room. Miss Wheeler, I need you and Chuck and Dory, and I don't know who. Denise, can you look up who the CASA supervisor is on 3-3? I need y'all to hang on, and you don't need to look at me like that, Miss Wheeler. This is going to help you out.
Okay.
Okay. One hand. It's going to help you. It's going to help you out a lot, but I need y'all to hang on with me when we get done with this. Okay.
Okay. Scared me.
No. I've been beating my head against the wall on this one, so no, it's okay. And Denise, can you see who the supervisor is on that one?
I apologize. That one's Claire.
Okay, it's
And-
Claire.
And the advocate, yes, and the advocate is Elizabeth Allen.
Okay. I don't need the advocate. I just need to talk scheduling and stuff. So if you could get Claire to zoom in if she's at the office.
She's not in the office at the moment, Your Honor.
Okay.
Let me just see where she's at.
Well, you can stay. I mean, it's not the end of the world. You can stay on and just let her know.
Okay, Your Honor.
If you don't mind.
Okay.
Miss Missick, did you hear what I just said? Okay, and Mr. Sturmer, I don't know where he went.
Yes, ma'am.
Did we lose him?
No, he's here. I mean, he's on the screen. He's just got his video off, right? Oh, there he is.
There he is. Did you hear what I said, Mr. Sturmer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So I know Miss McClure's in the breakout room with her client. Where are we on the case today, y'all?
I think we have an agreement as to cause for mom. Miss McClure's talking to her client who's in Mexico. I don't think we know where any of the other dads are right now.
Wow, we had somebody appear from Mexico. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I have good news on Vermeer, sort of kind of good news. Without Courtney doing like this to me.
Well, it just says that whole case is sometimes so triggering, and it's like every time I even start to think about it, I have a mild existential crisis before I gather myself.
Are we on YouTube?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I was just going to tell you something kind of funny, but I'll wait since we're on.
Okay.
On that case.
Ms. LaFoon,
Yes, Judge.
after this hearing, we need to go off of YouTube and I need to just have a conference with those lawyers and Casa on another case that we discussed, okay?
Okay.
It won't take.
Do we need
Ma'am?
to record or can I go off?
No. Miss Mystic, if you want, if somebody wants to tell Mr. Dennis that we're going to talk about, kind of just talk about it, I don't think he'll care. It's just about setting. I mean, I'm not even going to set anything. I just want to tell y'all what's going on.
I will get with him right now.
Okay. So while Miss McClure is talking to Mr. Ruiz, Mr. Solar, he's not here today, is he, y'all?
No, Your Honor, we were trying to reach him last night on information that we already have from a prior case on him. We was told by his aunt that he's no longer using the number that he is on, but hopefully he'll respond via email.
Okay.
So they're still trying to track him down where he is in the Dominican Republic.
And this is not Denise's issue, but like the fact that there is a phone number and an email for an aunt or something, like that's information I should have been sent so that I too can be doing my due diligence. Because, you know, it's a different conversation when I get on the phone with somebody and I go, hey, don't hang up. I work for you. As opposed to pick an agency.
Yeah, well, we were trying to track this down last night,
Sure.
Courtney, but that is Spanish speaking.
Not saying anything about you, Miss Hanley. She's saying the department should have provided her with that information.
Too. Yeah, but just to let her know as well, you may need a translator because he doesn't speak English, and then the relatives, they speak broken English.
I got a case down here with some El Salvadorans and a bunch of Hondurans, so I got translators on deck.
Oh, good. I was going to say, if you need to hire Mr. Ostrowski or Mr. Leone, they're always on call too. But if you got people down there that can help you, that's good. Miss Chandler, is Mr. Gonzalez here?
No, Your Honor, I have not found any contact information from my client. Ms. Cummings said that she's going to talk to Ms. Soler and see if she can get any kind of contact information for me and for Ms. Wheeler as well, for both of our clients.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.
I wonder if Mr. Ruiz speaks English. He does? Oh,
yes.
Thank goodness we don't have an interpreter. Oh, good. Okay, well, while we're doing that, let's just talk about that case I wanted to talk to some of you lawyers about in Casa, okay? Ms.
Your Honor,
Wheeler,
is it just for scheduling, or would you like me to get Claire to log in?
it's scheduled.
Soda.
Okay. Dory, Chuck, Denise, and Courtney. Next to impossible to get a court reporter for that day in person. Okay. So I called appellate at the department because, you know, this is a new statute and I don't really want to be the first judge to get written up, you know, get reversed on appeal about going past the 90 days extension. Are y'all following me so far? Which is August 13th, according to Mr. Sturmer. Okay. This morning, I sent an email to the courthouse to check days of availability. But what I would think the best plan would be is just for everybody to appear on the 30th via Zoom. Since I can't find a court reporter, no reason to drive over there without a court reporter for everybody to have to spend the money to drive over there. Put all on the record, everybody's schedule conflicts, my schedule conflicts, courtroom conflicts, court reporter conflicts, and then extend it a little bit, you know, past the 90 days. Okay. And then we can get everybody's calendars and hopefully come up with at least 2 days that all of us are available, that I can check with Ms. Greenwald or Jeannie or somebody to get a day that we're all good on. Okay. Now,
Ms. Shermer, this is important. The department said that this new statute, I've used the 90 days, but I haven't gone past the 90 days because it makes me nervous, like I said. But she said in a lot of the little counties where you have courtroom issues, other court reporter issues, they've been using this a lot. So but you have to show good cause. So we'll have to put some kind of stuff on about that. But they apparently have a form. I don't know if y'all have it in hot docs or whatever. They apparently have a specific form to use for this type of extension. It's not the, extension of the 90 days. It's not the, the regular, I can't grant a regular extension because we're past the dismissal date. But you understand what I'm talking about. So we'll have to get that form from the department.
Okay.
Okay. So what does everybody think about that plan? Y'all think we need to be there on the 30th? What do y'all think?
So it's kind of a twofold thing. Number one is we were doing in person because there was a request that might be the best for the one person, correct?
I guess I know there was a request for in person. Yes, that's all I know.
And then you had a cutoff for us to respond. That person, is it need to be in person? And it ended up the email saying, we can't get a hold of the person. Let's set in person, right?
Correct.
Okay. I understand even if that person said, hey, I'm good with not in person, we still have the issue of not having a court reporter, right?
In person.
Okay, because I've had a lot of contact lately. It's part of kind of a story, not ex parte by any means, and had a lot of contact with this person.
Okay.
And so could be, I don't know, it still may be that request. That could be talked about if I can get a hold of that person's lawyer. And I've texted him because I think there just wasn't communication, not because of the attorney, but the person. But the other thing I'm getting a lot of contact is because you have people pay things through my office.
I got
saying. And so I've just had quite a bit with both sides. It's kind of funny. I'll tell you all about it later.
So you saying we might be able to go forward with the trial on the 26th on Zoom?
Well, I would like to be able to have, wait, you mean the 30th?
Or the 3rd? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you scared me because I'm like, I can't do the 26th.
Yeah, no, the 30th.
I'd like to be able, if I can get permission from this person's lawyer, to ask or hook them up somehow. Because I think the person will answer my call because of the child support we've been dealing with for 2 weeks.
Okay, well,
guarantee.
I frankly haven't asked the court reporter whether she could do it on Zoom or not, just because it was going to be in person. But, Zoom's a lot easier to find somebody than in person if we did go forward on the 26th.
30th.
The 30th.
I have no idea if that's an option, but I would work on it because I think it'd be good to get this done.
Let me text her real quick. Yeah, and I don't like this good cause stuff if I don't have to.
Right, that's why I brought that up. So if I'll get with his lawyer, and I have no idea because I would never talk to the client unless his lawyer said okay on that issue, but I'm just wondering if there's a way, because I think everybody wants to get this done.
I do.
So I'll get with Kyle, and I've texted him. I bet he's tied up in something because I think he's in trial this afternoon.
Okay, well, I just texted the court reporter to say, could a reporter report via Zoom on the 7:30 date?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I have an in-person that morning at 9 to do a quick in-person adoption because I thought we were going to be in person, but I bet they'd let me Zoom. So I'll worry about that later.
Where is that? Where is that?
In Coryell. Judge Farrell was going to hear something at 9.
Well, just go hear that and go to sit to Mr. Shermer's office and Zoom.
Yeah, I do like to go there. Yep. I was gonna come say hi to y'all the other day. I was in Gatesville, but I was doing a mediation and
We were there.
I heard.
There. Well, because I didn't have this start until 9:30 anyway.
Right. That's why I set this other thing, but I don't know. I did a report. I may not have to go. All right, let me.
Well, but y'all are okay. Courtney's, Mr. Sturmer, y'all are okay with that. We either go on Zoom on the 30th or we appear by Zoom and do the good calls, et cetera, right?
I love appearing by Zoom in your so I definitely have an objection to that. And if it is a thing that they were able to schedule, differently, that works out for me too. I mean, final trials obviously take precedence. I'm looking at my calendar. I have a status hearing that day, and not that that's terribly important, but that client is high maintenance. So, it'd be nice if it hand her off, but yeah, I'll be ready to rock and roll on Zoom.
Well, I think you could does everybody feel comfortable if we do the good calls, so we have to do that, not being in person, or do I need to be there to be in person? I know.
I would see if we could, I don't see any problem. I really don't.
Right.
But I wish the attorney was here, but I understand he, was probably doing something else. Anyway,
I don't think it's not his deal anyway, he's not the one that wanted it that way.
No, his client.
Yeah. Right.
No, absolutely. But I think,
Okay. Well, Miss Wheeler and I are the ones that have to travel. I don't have to travel as much as she does. So I just wanted to have this meeting so we could let her know that she doesn't need to come in person. And Miss Hanley can let the advocate know that person is, and whoever the caseworker is, I don't know who that is. I guess there's Jacinta, that we're not going to have an in-person trial that day.
Gotcha. All right. Well, he's in a hearing. He's going to call me.
Okay. And everybody else on this case, thanks for just putting up with this stuff.
Oh, this might be better news. If he thinks it might get reset, he may agree to Zoom.
Good.
Okay. All right. He's going to call me when he's done with his hearing, and then I'll report back.
Well,
you're going to set it either way, either for the extension thing or a final anyway. So
what I would like to do is what you just said is if he doesn't want Zoom, if he's not insistent on in person, I just soon tee it up that day.
Right.
For a trial.
Yes, me too.
If I can get a Zoom court reporter.
Okay. So
go ahead.
Okay,
hold on. I just got everyone else in person. No. Did y'all go to mediation on that case? Y'all did? Okay.
Yeah. Yes, we did. Problem is that she can't get a court. So I guess I need to hear first if you're able to get a reporter, and I know that's what you're working on.
Lisa said, everyone will be by Zoom. Yes, it's a definite possibility. It's more possible that way.
Should I say then? Well, he can ask.
Well, okay. And see, I have an out-of-state reporter that I can call that'll only Zoom. And I haven't Zoom called her yet because she'll only Zoom.
She can't get a court reporter, but if he will agree to Zoom, she can get a court Zoom reporter for the 30th.
We've even sent something out statewide. The problem is because it's summer and it's the end of summer and everybody's going on vacations at the last minute,
Oh, yeah. Okay. I told him, ask him or I can or whatever he's comfortable with, but that it can go that day with a Zoom court reporter, but it's not going to go final that day if it's in person. Correct. And then I explained that we'd still have to appear by Zoom to get that extension past.
Yeah, we're not right. We're not going to be at the courthouse that day.
Got it. Okay, I keep you posted.
And Dory, we can probably get a court reporter. That's what Lisa said.
Yeah, but then you can get your out-of-state one. So I just said we could.
Probably. If she's not, the thing is, when are we going to know? Because, the later it ain't going to happen, Yeah,
tell her you need to know today,
But that you being able to talk to somebody.
Right, I'm waiting to hear what he says, because
I don't think that that person has the difficulties with Zoom that we had on Monday.
no, I don't think so.
Okay.
All right, well, thanks. I'm working on it.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Sturmer, do you feel comfortable with that good cause extension if we have to do that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I mean, I sent Ms. Roebuck over there at the courthouse a list of dates that I don't have court, that I could do it before the 13th. Y'all want to look at your calendars or not?
Well, does the
We can after. Let's get these other folks.
yeah, sorry. We can keep talking. Yes, ma'am.
Well, we don't have Melissa yet.
Oh,
She's
like,
here.
Have you been here the whole time?
For like the last 15 minutes.
Oh, I did not know that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was waiting on you.
Sorry.
Do I need to be more loud and obnoxious than I have in the past?
Yeah, apparently so. Yeah. Okay. Okay, cause number. Okay, thank you. Okay, Mr. Sturmer, you may begin.
Judge, I believe we have an agreement between the parties that are here to for the department to remain the temporary managing conservator of the children. We've got a couple of fathers that we haven't located yet, so we'll continue to try to find them. And that's really about all I think the department needs to inform the court of today.
Okay, where are the children? What's going on with them, et cetera?
It's my understanding they're in a shelter. We'll be talking to the parents about placement options.
Okay. 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 Thank you. Ms. Cummings, what do you need today?
Your Honor, I just need a home study ordered on Mary San Miguel. She lives in Taylor, Texas. She's a family friend of Mom's.
Okay. Okay. That's good. Ms. Cummings, anybody?
Yeah, I think she had provided another name over to the department, but it's my understanding that they only do like one home study at a time.
Okay.
And I
so
think this one has the best history with the children, the family.
Okay, so you want this one to trump the name that Ms. Stoller previously supplied?
I believe so. What was the previous name?
Ms. Stoller or the department, did y'all get another name for a home study from Mom?
I was not provided with a name for anybody else.
I think Casa was, Judge Miss Colvin was. And it was somebody at a work friend, I believe.
Jessica, would you prefer the home study be done on Mary San Miguel as opposed to the person you told Casa about? You just shake your head, yes or no. Oh, do I unmute myself? If you're on your phone, if you click towards the bottom, there should be a little microphone. It'll be red with a line through it. Just click on it.
Yes, either or one of those will work out.
Tell me which one you want to go first.
Oh, Heather?
Does Heather have any CPS history or criminal history or anything, ma'am?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Does she live in Texas?
Yes.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay, good. Okay. And Miss Cummings, y'all submitted your application for court appointed attorney, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I think I approved it maybe yesterday.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Anything else, Ms. Cummings?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Wheeler, I guess you don't know because your client's not here, right?
Yes, Judge.
And did you and Ms. Chandler, did y'all need to talk to Ms. Solar maybe afterwards about some location information?
I mean, I would love that information, and I would love any familial connecting information. I understand CPS and CASA do all of their own due diligence and reach out to these people, but I need to do that myself. So I kind of need all of that information, just because, like I said, being able to tell somebody, hey, don't hang up on me because I'm actually your lawyer. It's different than getting a phone call from some agency, and people don't know how CASA works. People don't know. They just know it's the government. Click. So, there's something to be said for me to being able to email folks and be like, hey, Auntie, you find your nephew, he has his own lawyer who has to keep all his secrets. Don't call me.
Yeah. Okay. Ms. Cummings, you were going to say something?
Your Honor, I was going to say that I plan on talking with my client to get information on family members. I don't believe she has any direct contact information for the dads, but she may have some social media information for family.
Okay. Do you have any opposition with everybody going to a breakout room after this is over with?
No, Your Honor.
No. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Ms. McClure.
Yes, Mr. Ruiz is, he's in Mexico. He would like to be able to do some video visits with his child. I did explain that may be difficult to do while she's in a shelter, but hopefully sometime soon he can do that. He does have some family members. He mentioned his mother and a sister that do live in Texas. So I didn't know that anybody had found him until today. So we have exchanged information. He's going to be sending me contact information for the mother and the sister, so CPS can do a background check, because I explained that if we could get her placed with family, that would be the best. And so I will work with him to get that information to the department and to get his contact information to the department.
Okay, great. Thank you. Ms. Chandler?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm in the same boat as Ms. Wheeler. I don't have any contact information for my client. I do want to be able to reach out to him. Ms. Cummings has already indicated that she'll speak with Ms. Soler about getting contact information for the other dads. And so that's all I need today.
Okay. Okay, well, hang around and y'all go to breakout room, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Ms. Colvin, what's up? How are the kiddos? Tell me what's going on.
Currently, Anna Lee and Milani have tested positive for COVID. So they are on quarantine. I did get to lay eyes on the baby, Delilah. She looks good. I asked them if they've already tested the baby. Baby's come back negative, and they said that they would retest her if she showed symptoms. Apparently, when Anna Lee came into care, she was congested, and that's what prompted it. And then Milani, being around her, I guess, contracted it. Them two are sharing a room down there. The baby's separate, but according to staff at the emergency shelter, they do get to, well, not right now because they're in quarantine, but prior to, they were getting to see each other very regularly. I do plan on making a trip down there as soon as they come out of quarantine to be able to see them, lay eyes on them, get more information from the staff. They did finally get back to me today on some questions that we had. The emergency shelter they kept deflecting it from one person to another on my questions. So that kind of concerns me. So I definitely want to get down there ASAP after they're out of quarantine and make sure that everybody is good. I'm in agreement for TMC and mom to work a service plan at this time.
Okay. I'm hearing a lot of people have COVID lately. It must be going around again. I don't know what's going on.
Me neither.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Miss Mystic?
And Judge, they're at Kids Harbor, which is usually pretty good. That's where we had our 7 from yesterday, or 6 of them.
Right.
Can we get a hair test on the kids too?
Okay.
Please, ordered, and just glad that it sounds like there's lots of opportunities to find placements to get them out of the shelter.
Okay. Okay, so I have the department has agreed temporary managing conservator, home study on Heather Fetcher and Mary San Miguel. Mr. Ruiz is going to provide some names for Ms. McClure to possibly have a home study on some of his family here in Texas. Ms. McClure, Mr. Ruiz's court-appointed attorney application is due by 8/1/24, or you'll be released. Be sure and explain that to him too. Ms. Jessica, I'm going to order you to provide personal effects as requested by the children's placement, CPS, items, school supplies, stuff like that. I want you to provide that. I'm going to order the department to get a hair strand on the children by 8/7/24. Miss Soler, do you or any of the dads have any Native American heritage?
I don't believe so.
Okay, thank you. What about, let's just talk about Mr. Ruiz's child. Is certificate?
Tell me that again.
Any of the dads on any of the kids' birth certificates?
Oh, yes.
Tell me which one, or all of them.
Sorry. Annalise and Julian, their dad is Udia. He's
Okay,
on.
but is he on the birth certificate?
Yes.
Okay. What about Milana?
No, Milani's dad is in Dominican Republic.
Okay, and he's not on the birth certificate, right?
Ma'am.
And what about Delilah's?
No, Delilah's dad is not on there.
Okay. Do any of those gentlemen claim their children, say that they're their dads? Do I need to do DNA? What do you think?
They do claim them, I believe. I hope so.
Okay, well, I'm just going to go and order DNA just to be on the safe side. But have you been to court on any with any of the children before, like child support court, getting court orders, anything like that?
Just to your court.
Okay. And y'all remind me, when we had court before, how did this case end? I don't remember.
Dismissed.
Was dismissed?
It was a dismissal February 22 for Annalee and Milani.
Okay.
All parties, attorneys, really. Yeah. I have that file. I don't see.
So, Miss Jessica, you don't have any child support order on Mr. Ruiz?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, so, we'll do DNA on Gonzalez and Solar. Visits, are y'all working out visits as agreed by CPS and mom and everybody? Y'all good on that? Okay. And I'm gonna let Miss Jessica, you can FaceTime 2 times per week, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you probably might already be doing that anyway. Okay, Mr. Ruiz, Miss Solar, after today, there's going to be a meeting called a family group conference. And at the family group conference, that's where your services will be developed. And the services are things you have to do to get us out of your life and to get the kiddos back home. I tell everybody at every hearing, you have to comply with your service plan or your parental rights could be subject to termination. Okay. Our next hearing is called a status hearing. It's September 4th. On that day, we'll go over your service plan. You probably would have already started working on it. And I'll give y'all some more. I'll make it an order of the court at that time. And then I'll also give y'all some more court day. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Lawyers, Costa, do y'all need anything else? Okay. Miss Wheeler, Miss Cummings, Miss Chandler, maybe Costa, maybe Miss Mystic, Miss Jessica. I need y'all to go to breakout room and talk about the dads real quick. Okay? And everybody else is excused. Miss Laffoon, if you can send, I don't know if you got that, but if you can send all those folks to breakout room, please.
Yes, Judge.
Can you send the worker, please, Judge?
Excuse me?
Can you send the caseworkers to the breakout room, Marquita?
Yes, is that Austin?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and Miss Austin too. Investigations, y'all can be excused.
Who else was it that needs to go to the breakout?
Miss Jessica, Mom, Jessica Solar.
Okay.
Jessica here.
Got it.
Miss Cummings, Wheeler, Chandler, Colvin, Hanley, if she hadn't already left. Miss Hanley, Denise Hanley.
Okay.
Miss McClure, you and Mr. Ruiz, y'all can be excused. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
I have some locating information for Mr. Gonzalez that I was going to provide Miss Chandler.
Okay. Why don't you go to the breakout room too?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Dora, you want to go to the breakout room?
I think I'm good.
Okay.